the emergence of the dark matter armadain the vast, starlit expanse of the galaxy. Civilizations thrived under the vigilant watch of the Galactic Council for millennia. This coalition of ancient species had ruled, their wisdom and military might, maintaining an uneasy peace across millions of star systems. The Council's fleets were unmatched ships built from exotic alloys and powered by plasma cores, defended by shimmering quantum shields that could repel even the most devastating attacks. The Council's authority was near absolute. Their laws, their peacekeepers, their fleets, each was a testament to their unshakable grip on galactic order. To challenge them was unthinkable. The whispered legends among the younger species spoke of the Council's brutal purges, the merciless quelling of rebellions, and their uncanny longevity, sustained by advanced biotech and ancient psionic rituals. Yet on the outskirts of known space, in the quiet backwaters where starlight barely pierced the darkness, humanity was quietly rewriting their own destiny. For centuries, Earth had been a relatively minor player in galactic politics. The remnants of war-scarred nations had united to form the United Earth Alliance, a coalition intent on exploring and protecting its home system. Their technology had advanced steadily, but was often considered rudimentary by the standards of more established galactic powers. But humanity's greatest edge wasn't conventional technology. It was ambition, tenacity, and a deep curiosity about the universe's most elusive secrets. It began with the study of dark matter. Dark matter was the invisible skeleton of the cosmos, an enigmatic substance that neither emitted nor absorbed light, but whose gravitational pull shaped the formation of galaxies. It was a cosmic mystery, an enigma that had puzzled scientists for generations. Many species had observed it, but few dared to interact with it directly. The risks were unknown, the dangers unquantifiable. For humanity, this mystery became an obsession. In sprawling orbital laboratories circling Mars and hidden beneath Antarctic ice, teams of scientists, engineers, and physicists worked in utmost secrecy, led by Dr. Lena Morozova, a brilliant physicist of Russian descent. The research focused on creating controlled dark matter reactors, devices that could isolate and harness dark matter's energy in a stable form. Years of failure and dangerous accidents had tested the resolve of humanity's pioneers. Several research stations were lost in catastrophic explosions, but every setback only deepened the scientists' determination. Finally, after decades of relentless effort, they cracked the code. The breakthrough came from the fusion of dark matter with quantum field manipulation, using exotic particles to create stable pockets of dark matter, energy that could be tapped like a battery. The energy densities were orders of magnitude beyond anything available from conventional fusion or antimatter reactors. With this new power source, humanity could build ships that were faster, stealthier, and more deadly than any other in the galaxy. The project was given the codename Erebus, named after the primordial Greek deity of darkness and shadow. The first prototype was an enormous warship, constructed in orbit around Mars in a massive, hidden dry dock cloaked by advanced stealth technologies. Its hull was made from a newly discovered alloy laced with metamaterials that could bend electromagnetic waves, rendering it nearly invisible to traditional sensors. Unlike the bulky, noisy war machines of other species, the Erebus seemed to shimmer with a living darkness. Where light touched its surface, it warped and twisted, as if the ship existed partially out of phase with normal space. Admiral Kira Voss, commander of the fledgling Earth Defense Fleet, was a veteran of multiple skirmishes along humanity's expanding borders. Born on the Moon's first military colony, Kira had risen through the ranks with a blend of tactical genius and relentless grit. She had been chosen to lead the dark matter armada into the wider galaxy. Standing on the bridge of the Erebus during its final test run, Kira gazed at the holographic display hovering above the command console. It showed the warship's systems, all humming with stable power. Power output at 115% of design, reported Chief Engineer Malik Chen. The dark matter reactor is holding steady, no fluctuations detected. Kira nodded. Commence stealth protocols. Let's see if the Council's sensors can even detect us. The crew watched the sensors in suspense as the ship's signature faded away. disappearing from long-range scanners as though it had never existed. The test was a resounding success. Back on Earth, the news was classified, shared only among the highest echelons of the United Earth Alliance and the Shadow Council and Advisory Body, overseeing secret defense projects. President Marcus Tanaka addressed the secret meeting via secure holographic link. His face was grave. "Humanity has been underestimated for too long," he said. "The Galactic Council views us as a primitive species, unworthy of recognition. But with these warships, we have the power to force them to listen." The room was silent. Some delegates were uneasy with the aggressive tone, fearing war with the Council would invite annihilation. Others saw it as humanity's inevitable rise. Dr. Morozova stepped forward. "Our technology is unprecedented, but it is not without risks. Dark matter is still poorly understood. Pushing these ships too far or using their weapons irresponsibly could have consequences beyond our control." Kira leaned forward. "We didn't build these ships to hide in the shadows forever. When the time comes, we will show the galaxy that humanity commands a power they cannot ignore." The years that followed saw the secret construction of a fleet 10, 20, eventually 50 dark matter warships, each more advanced than the last. They trained in silence, hidden from prying eyes, waiting for the moment to strike. For the Council, humanity remained a curiosity, a young species playing at space travel. But as the dark matter armada prepared to emerge from the void, the balance of galactic power was about to shatter forever. Depicting the history of the galaxy's governance, the Council had called the session to discuss the rising unrest in the outer sector's piracy, rogue states, and new powers that threatened the fragile order. At the center of their concern, of course, was humanity, still regarded as a nascent, unpredictable species. Earth's growing fleet and unorthodox tactics had stirred unease, but no one predicted what was about to unfold. On board the Zifra, the atmosphere was thick with protocol and ceremony. The Eldraks, ancient reptilian diplomats with scales like molten gold, spoke in slow, measured tones. The Nyrelians, ethereal and translucent, exchanged psychic impressions in place of speech. Technomorphs, their metallic forms constantly shifting, observed silently from the shadows. Counselor Arvex of the Eldraks rose to address the assembly. "We face challenges from the fringes, yet none threaten our sovereignty like the reckless humans. Their expansion is unchecked, their ambitions dangerous." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. Counselor Leary of the Nyrelians added with a whisper that echoed in minds rather than ears, "We must send a message. Any challenge to the Council's peace is to be extinguished swiftly." But while the delegates debated, the human fleet was already moving, silent and invisible. The dark matter armada emerged from the shadows of a dying nebula on the fringe of Council space. The first ship to arrive was the flagship Erebus, its hull glimmering with the unnatural shimmer of dark matter fields. The rest of the fleet followed, sleek warships that seemed to flicker between dimensions, slipping past sensor grids as if they were ghosts. The Council's early warning systems, designed to detect conventional energy signatures, were useless against this new threat. When the Erebus opened fire, plasma bolts and missile salvos passed harmlessly through the dark-shielded vessels. Within moments, Council defense arrays went dark, sabotaged from the inside by electromagnetic pulses the human ships generated with terrifying precision. Communications were jammed. The Council was blind, deaf, and vulnerable. Inside the Zifra's command center, panic erupted. Council officers scrambled to react, their faces etched with disbelief. "Shields at 20% and dropping," yelled a technician. "They're tearing through the outer defenses." The Council flagship, the majestic Aurelia, launched fighters and countermeasures. But the dark matter warships phased through their attacks. The Erebus unleashed its main weapon, a dark energy pulse that rippled through space like a wave of crushing shadow. The Aurelia exploded in a cathedral of fire and debris, sending a shockwave that rattled the entire station. Back on the bridge of the Erebus, Admiral Kira Voss watched the destruction through her viewport, a calm steel determination in her eyes. "We move fast and strike hard," she ordered. "Disable their command systems. We want them broken, not annihilated. Let them understand the price of underestimating humanity." Her tactical officer, LT, Dryas Kane, responded, "Dark matter warships are undetectable and nearly invulnerable. We've never faced an enemy like this. The Council fleets are routed." The Erebus and its fleet hunted down fleeing Council ships. With ruthless efficiency, the battle was over. Within hours, a devastating blow that shattered the illusion of the Council's invulnerability. Across the galaxy, news traveled fast. Galactic trading hubs went dark, communications scrambled. For the first time in recorded history, the unthinkable had happened. The Galactic Council, the oldest and most powerful alliance in the galaxy, had been brought to its knees by humanity. In the aftermath, the Council's surviving members scrambled. To understand the threat, delegates accused one another of negligence. Factions formed, arguing over how to respond. Meanwhile, on Earth, the public was kept in the dark about the specifics. The United Earth Alliance issued a carefully worded statement. Humanity asserts its place among the stars. We seek no unnecessary conflict, but we will defend ourselves against those who seek to suppress our future. Behind closed doors, celebrations were muted but fierce. The Dark Matter Armada had proven itself not just a scientific marvel, but a strategic masterpiece. Humanity's rise was no longer theoretical, it was a stark reality. But beneath the triumph, a dark question lingered. What had driven the Council to complacency? Why had they dismissed humanity's potential so thoroughly? And as the shattered Council retreated into the unknown, a shadow fell across the galaxy, a warning that the war was only just beginning. Secrets beneath the darkness. The battle over the Ilara system had ended in a crushing victory for humanity's Dark Matter Armada, but it had only opened a Pandora's box of questions and dangers. While the galaxy reeled from the Council's sudden fall, far from the front lines and political arenas, humanity's greatest minds labored to unravel the mysteries and risks of the dark matter technology that had changed the fate of billions. Hidden deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a fortress carved out of the ancient volcanic rock of the Kamchatka Peninsula, lay the Abysses sprawling, ultra-secure research complex shielded from sensors by layers of electromagnetic dampeners and gravitational distortions. It was here that Dr. Lena Morozova, the lead scientist behind the Dark Matter Warship program, worked with a dedicated team of physicists, engineers, and quantum theorists. The complexity of their work stretched the boundaries of known science. Requiring brilliance and intuition, Lena sat before a vast holoscreen, streams of data cascading around her like digital rain. The blueprint of the Erebus hovered at the center. Glowing softly, the dark matter reactor's core was visible. A swirling vortex of controlled chaos, a miniature singularity held at bay by quantum containment fields. "This is more than just a power source," Lena said, tapping the hologram. "It's a bridge between dimensions. The reactor stabilizes a bubble of warped spacetime that allows the ship to phase partially out of our universe, granting stealth and near invulnerability." Her assistant, a young engineer named Riko Takashi, frowned. But if the containment fields fail, the reaction could cascade, collapsing the bubble and causing a spatial implosion. Yes, Lena nodded grimly. An implosion of that magnitude would obliterate the ship and potentially devastate nearby space. She had lived through the loss of a sister ship during early testing, an accident that had wiped out an entire crew and scarred her personally. Beyond power, the dark matter also fed the Erebus's weapons systems. Unlike conventional energy weapons, the dark matter pulse cannons did not fire plasma or lasers. Instead, they generated concentrated bursts of dark energy, compressed negative mass fields that could disrupt molecular bonds and warp gravity itself. The effect was devastating and unpredictable. Against Council ships designed to withstand plasma barrages and ion cannons, these pulses shredded hulls like paper. Yet, despite the technological marvel, questions remained unanswered. Dark matter, by its nature, was invisible and weakly interacting with normal matter. How humanity had managed to control it with such precision was a puzzle that even the Council's greatest scientists could not solve. Worse, the long-term consequences of exposure to concentrated dark energy were unknown. There were whispers within scientific circles of strange phenomena, crews reporting disorienting visions, unexplained mutations in biological samples, even reports of ships phasing slightly out of sync with reality. The political landscape around this technology was equally unstable. Multiple factions within humanity sought to seize control of the dark matter program. Corporate interests coveted the power for profit and influence. Intelligence agencies wanted the technology for covert operations, and military leaders debated strategies for galactic dominance. Amidst this, Dr. Morozova remained steadfast in her warnings. We must proceed with caution, she told a council of military and government leaders during a tense meeting in the abyss. We are dealing with forces we barely understand. The dark matter reactor is a marvel but a potential catastrophe. If we lose control, it could annihilate entire star systems. General Marcus Hall, head of the United Earth Defense Forces, scoffed. We've already proven its power. The council is shattered. This technology is our key to survival and supremacy. Lena shook her head. Survival is not assured if we ignore the risks, and supremacy invites retaliation. Other species will come hunting. Far beyond Earth, the remnants of the Galactic Council had retreated to a hidden enclave known as the Veil of Eternity, a labyrinthine network of artificial worlds cloaked by quantum distortions. There, the council members gathered in secrecy, nursing wounds both physical and political. The Eldraks, Technomorphs, Nyrelians, and others debated fiercely. Counselor Arvex, now battle-worn but unbroken, spoke with a grim tone. Humanity has pierced the veil of our dominance with weapons we cannot counter. Counselor Leary of the Nyrelians, eyes flickering with psychic fire, added, we must unlock the secrets of their technology, capture one of their warships if we can. A desperate plan took shape, a covert expedition to capture or destroy a dark matter warship before humanity's grip tightened further. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the dark matter warships trained relentlessly. Crews underwent psychological conditioning to resist the subtle mental effects of dark matter exposure. Simulations tested their response to catastrophic reactor failures. Admiral Kira Voss, though triumphant, felt the weight of the unknown pressing down. In private, she confided to Lena, we've changed the rules of war, but I fear we don't yet understand the game we're playing. Lena replied, the darkness is both our weapon and our curse. It's a delicate balance. One wrong move, and the shadows could consume us all. As the galaxy held its breath, a new age of conflict was dawning, one where science and ambition collided with ancient power and hidden threats. The dark matter warships were no longer just instruments of war. They were the keys to the next chapter of cosmic destiny, where humanity would either rise to unparalleled heights or fall into the abyss they had unleashed. The dark horizon, humanity's fatigued galaxy, was no longer the familiar place it had been. The once unassailable Galactic Council had been fractured, its fleets shattered, and its dominion shattered by humanity's sudden emergence with the dark matter armada. Yet victory was only the first step, for behind every triumph lurked new threats, old alliances severed, new enemies risen, and a darkness within the technology humanity had unleashed. The Erebus, flagship of the dark matter armada, now served as a symbol both of hope and uncertainty. Its eerie hull glistened like a shard of void itself, a harbinger of change and chaos. Admiral Kira Voss stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the star charts as her fleet approached the Veil of Eternity, the secret enclave, where the surviving members of the Galactic Council had retreated. Their objective was clear: deliver a decisive blow to the remnants of the Council and prevent them from regrouping or developing countermeasures. Yet, the war had grown more dangerous. Intelligence reports warned of a terrifying new weapon under construction, a device designed to neutralize the dark matter reactor's field, rendering the warships vulnerable. Commander Kane, status on sensor. Raise? Kira asked, her voice taut with tension. Lieutenant Dryas Kane tapped the console, eyes flicking rapidly over the data streams. We're detecting strange energy fluctuations ahead. Admiral, he said, likely a prototype weapon. Our signature is still masked, but their traps are getting more sophisticated. Kira nodded grimly. We proceed with caution. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We cannot let them pin us down. The battle that followed was unlike any other. It unfolded across shifting dimensions, and fractured realities. The Council's new weapon emitted waves that distorted space-time, causing parts of the dark matter warships to flicker out of existence, temporarily destabilizing their reactors. The Erebus's dark matter core fluctuated violently, reactor containment weakening. Malik Chen shouted from engineering, "If this continues, we risk a catastrophic implosion." Kira's hands clenched the rail. "Initiate emergency stabilization. Protocols, reroute power to secondary fields." But the instability was spreading. The ship began to warp, its edges shimmering like a mirage, reality bending under the stress. In the midst of the chaos, a sudden, blinding pulse erupted from the Council's weapon. A wave of negative energy that engulfed the Erebus alarms, screamed as the ship's spatial bubble collapsed in places, and entire sections flickered out of existence. Kira's voice was steady, resolute. "Evacuate non-essential personnel. Prepare to abandon ship if necessary." But she did not intend to leave. "The Erebus is my command," she said fiercely. "I'll stabilize the reactor myself." With a handful of engineers, Kira descended to the reactor core. The chamber was a swirling maelstrom of dark energy, light bending and twisting in impossible ways. "This reactor is a living paradox," Lena Morozova's voice echoed in her comlink. "The balance between dimensions is fragile. You're walking a razor's edge." Kira worked quickly, adjusting quantum fields and reinforcing containment grids. But the reactor's instability reached critical levels. Suddenly, the ship lurched violently. A massive surge of energy enveloped the Erebus, tearing open a rift. In space-time, a swirling portal of shadow and light, Kira felt herself being pulled toward it, the edges of reality unraveling around her. When the chaos finally subsided, the Erebus was gone. The rift closed, leaving behind only silence. Weeks later, rumors began to surface in dark corners of the galaxy. Traders whispered of strange signals from beyond the rift, mysterious transmissions, encoded in frequencies unknown. Explorers reported sightings of ships and phenomena unlike anything recorded before, glowing tendrils of energy, ghostly vessels drifting through starfields untouched by time. Some spoke of a new frontier, an uncharted dimension filled with infinite possibilities and dangers. Back on Earth, the loss of the Erebus was kept classified. Admiral Kira Voss was declared missing in action, a hero lost to the unknown. But humanity was undeterred. The Dark Matter Armada remained humanity's spearhead in the galaxy, its fleets growing larger and more advanced every day. The Council's surviving factions, scattered and desperate, rebuilt their alliances, vowing revenge. The galaxy stood on the precipice of an era unlike any before, a war not just of fleets and weapons, but of realities and destinies. In a hidden chamber within the abyss, Dr. Morozova stared at the rift's residual energy signature displayed on her holoscreen. "The darkness has changed," she murmured. "And so have we," replied a voice behind her. General Hall stepped into the light, his expression unreadable. "Humanity's journey into the dark horizon has only just begun," he said. "The question is, will we master it, or will it consume us?" The future was uncertain, but one truth was clear. Humanity's dark matter warships had shattered the Galactic Council, but they had also opened a door to mysteries and perils that no one, not even their creators, could yet fathom. And the stars themselves were watching.